Steve, great to see you here in Newcastle. I've come into nosebleed territory today. And to see the machines that you've got here at BEL Engineering now, it's an incredible installation for one. There's two things we've come to look at today, is that, but also their new training academy. Let's talk about both of them, and let's start, in fact, with what we've got here behind you. 6 NLX machines from DMG MORI. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but these are your most popular lathe, or their popular turn-in centre. This just further endorses that, doesn't it?
Yes, they are very popular, they're very versatile, they go into a lot of different industries. These ones with gantry loaders give much more productivity from an efficiency point of view. But yes, for me it's not a long way north. We've got a lot further to go up to Scotland, but this is not untypical of what we do. It really isn't. You know?
Now, 2 of the machines out of the 6 here, we've seen the bar-fed machines, but they've got 2 gantries. I was interested to get the reasoning from them behind that, and a lot of it was down to the fact that one-hit machining. It was being able to load billets, and that was really the core ingredient. But they've been impressed with the flexibility of the machine. It's some solution, isn't it, from you?
Yeah, the thing with gantry loaders is, does it take a skilled man to load a billet? No, it doesn't. The skill is actually getting the part through the process, and that's really where people need to focus and put their attention to. So the gantry loader is just simply, a dumb arm that picks the billet up, puts it in, but it's very flexible, and there's lots of opportunities to change various things. So you may, for example, want to start the job in the second spindle and bring it across to the first spindle. So we can do that, and then we can outload onto the left or the right hand side. But
now, the reliability of the process is important, especially with the parts they're making here.
Yeah.
The tolerances that they've got to achieve in an unmanned running environment needs some machines. So probably a good opportunity for you to describe some of the reasons the NLX copes with unmanned running on demanding materials needing tight tolerances, and not to forget they're achieving grinding finishes too.
Well, the NLX is built on a solid slideway, so it's a very rigid, solid machine. Thermally, it's very stable in its natural state. But what we can do with the machine is we can add options onto it. So we can put ball screw cooling, we can put scales on X, Y's and Z. And some of these machines have those facilities to give them ultra accuracy, constant accuracy, day in, day out, and at night time.
I mean, I looked at the size of the turret on the machine as well. You've got 20 tool stations. It's probably 2 or 3 times the size of most turrets you see. Does that mean that you can machine, you can take heavier cuts, for example? Does that mean you've certainly got more options on tools? But there's advantages there as well, isn't there? And the spindles, the C-axis power.
Yeah, one of the big benefits of the big turret is the interference between adjacent tools. It's much bigger than your general 20 station or 16 station turret. So you can have a big turret and you can use a billet from the stocker coming in. 20 station turret machines are generally confined to bar machines. So you're looking at maybe 52, 65 mil. I mean, we go bigger than that as bar, but it's then handling the bar size is difficult. So if you actually look at the 20 station turret, between each adjacent tool there's lots of space. And that is a major, major benefit.
Gantry becoming popular for you?
Yeah, they've always
They're
been
quick,
popular.
Aren't they? They're quick to be able to change parts over.
Yeah, and we've got some customers, and I've got some sales guys that prefer this to the robot serve system, because actually you can stand right in front of the machine, the gantry is over your head, it's not taking a lot of space up, and it is very flexible.
Second point I wanted to touch on, another reason we're here, their training academy. Something close to your and my heart, having come through industry, been in this all our lives. They really struggle to find and to recruit people to cope with the demands of the increase in business. So they've gone and set up their own training school, training academy, with your support. That's a good collaboration.
Yeah, and I endorse everything that they do, because if we don't train the future generation, we're in trouble, we're in big trouble. But, why don't we train the people? There are people out there that really want to learn engineering. I've come across many, many kids recently that really want to be active in it, because manufacturing is such a broad church and gives them so many opportunities to work, you know, either here or across the world. But to be involved with someone who's going to make a, you know, to make that commitment with their time, their effort, their money, you know, I want to be part of that, and I'm really proud to be part of that.
And you've got your machinery in there, which is a good benchmark, or it's a good level of technology for then these youngsters to be able to take into the real world, isn't it? Because of, I suppose, the kit that you have in surrounding businesses and surrounding industries.
Yeah, the real world is what it's all about. You know, I feel sorry for the schools because, you know, as a 14-year-old, they don't get the exposure that they should have to manufacturing because, you know, a school can't afford to put one of these pieces of kit in. These guys are bringing those people through from an early age. Some of the stuff I do with the STEM ambassador stuff is bringing them to 14 to 15-year-olds, bringing them to our place in Coventry, showing them what is capable of doing. But here, it's about the real world. It's no good actually putting a 10 machine in or a, you know, a piece of Play-Doh and then expecting someone to cut a piece of steel. It's got to be real, and that's what they've done.
I watched the guys today using your control system, very intuitive. They were getting really engaged with it, so that's important. You've got these machines we spoke about. You're part of this academy as well. Business is good for DMG MORI at the moment, isn't it? And business is good for the industry. That's why both of these stories are so important.
Yeah, business is good across the UK. There are not many companies that I'm going to that are struggling. You know, quite the opposite. They're struggling maybe because of material supply or machine supply, you know, or space. But work, there's plenty of. Finance is very easy to achieve, particularly through DMG MORI Finance. And, you know, we're also seeing a lot of onshoring coming. So stuff coming back to the UK that was lost many years ago. And it comes back with examples like here, automation.